Welcome to the 9 News Trump Rally.
Good morning, everyone. Thursday night football in the NFL, it's usually the dud game, but for 2 weeks so far in Colorado high school football, we've seen some of the best matchups on Thursday nights, and it starts right here with this game at Legacy Stadium. One of the best games of Thursday night, probably by far. EAGLECREST visiting GRANDVIEW, second quarter, Wolves down 21-14, and they tied the game up with an Evan Johnson kickoff return, fields it from the 10, he gone. He ties it up at 21. GRANDVIEW would take a 28-21 lead into the halftime sidelines, that is. Down to the final 40 seconds of the game, though. Here we go. GRANDVIEW up 42-35. Raptors at the goal line. The JP Locuto, who gets in for the score. That makes it a 1-point game. They go for one or they go for two. They go for two, and it's Locuto again, and he gives them a 1-point lead, 43-42. 3 seconds left. That'll pay dividends. GRANDVIEW marches down the field with a chance to kick a game-winning field goal, and they miss it. What a wild finish in Aurora. EAGLECREST escapes with a 43-42 win. They are now 2-0. Now let's take a trip over to Trailblazer, where number 2 Dakota Ridge took on Bear Creek, and this one started fast. After Bear Creek went 3 and out on their first possession, Dakota's Dante Caputaloon returns this one 47 yards for a score. Hands up if you're having a good time. Well, it was a great time for Dante and the Eagles as they literally jumped out to a 42-0 lead in the first half. Check out that one. Dante, an amazing play, but sometimes all you need is the friendly hop, and Max Hart got exactly that for the touchdown and the dunk celebration right there. This one, all Eagles. Final score 48-14. Dakota Ridge moves to 2-0. Out to Echo Park, Chaparral playing host to a really talented Regis team. Already up 7-0 in the first quarter. Xavier Carroll gets the handoff, bounces off a few defenders, and he is in for the Raiders touchdown. How about the other Carroll? Xander Carroll at quarterback. Flushes out to the right, finds Charlie Dubé. Dubé with the little juke. He then turns on the Jets towards the end zone, and that dude is fast. All Regis in this game. Raiders win it 42-0. Up north, SKYLINE travels to face GREELEY West, beginning of the first quarter. SKYLINE's Chase Silva. He'll fake the handoff here to Graydon Bridwell. Bounces just a little bit like a pinball, dodges, Spartan tackles, gets in for the touchdown, 7-0 SKYLINE. How about GREELEY West? Not to be outdone. Dimitri Jeremio out left, speeding past the Falcons. SKYLINE can't stop him now. He's got the groove. It's an easy 62-yard wind sprint to the end zone. GREELEY West cuts the lead to 10-7. Fast forward after a little bit of celebration here, trailing 46-7 late, Crusaders trying for some points here, but they will be denied. Hayden Robinson, he is there for the pick, he is there for the 6, and the Falcons are there for the celebration. They cruise to the impressive 67-20 win. Lakewood hosting number 4 Pomona on a gorgeous Thursday night at Jeffco Stadium. Got a little chilly, if I do say so myself. First quarter scoreless, not for long. Panthers quarterback Jack Pospisil gets in the open field. We've seen this movie before. Scores the touchdown, 7-0 Pomona, and it was the Pospisil show. He can also do it through the air. Hits wide receiver Isaiah Alvarez on the rollout. Alvarez with the burst, fancy footwork, stays on his feet. Ref says he's in. We go with the ref. It's 14-0 Panthers. Same score. Pomona threatening here. Pospisil loves the camera. Finds some space. Heads our way. He's in for yet another touchdown. 21-0 at that point, and they would double it up. Number 4 Pomona tops Lakewood by a final of 42-0. We knew this year would pose some challenges due to COVID-19. In week 1, Mullen was unable to play at all due to its own quarantine. Ralston Valley's opponent had to cancel that game due to its quarantine, forcing the Mustangs to find a lesser opponent to play. But now these two teams are facing off in week 2. So we head over to the NAC and we'll get our first look at Mullen as they play their first game in week 2. And we'll see if Ralston Valley is as dominant as they looked against a 3A team. So let's go first quarter. No score. Ralston Valley's Devin McNearney takes the pitch, goes to the outside. He will tiptoe the sideline, little toe drag swag, diving, flipping for the pylon. Touchdown RV Mustangs. They lead 7-0. I'm going to have to tell you which Mustangs we're talking about here. Second half, 14-0 Mullen backup quarterback Ryan Schmidt into the game. First run of the game, keeps his feet down on the sideline for 45 yards. This would lead to a Mullen Mustangs field goal, 14-3. Fourth quarter, Ralston Valley with a strike. Zach Friedman finds Charlie Carlston for the 21-yard touchdown. The Mustangs of Ralston Valley beat the Mustangs of Mullen 21-3, improving to a 2-0. I love when it's a Mustang versus a Mustang. Our first Facebook game of the night brings us to Stutler Bowl. Arapahoe leads Overland 14-0, and striking again, that's Cole Hansen on the run, finding wide open Ethan Simpson in the end zone. And here comes Overland, trying to find a spark. Kai Ilela airs it out way downfield to a contested Ismail Sisi. What a grab in the end zone. But this was all Warriors. Hansen goes over the middle to Ty Scheckenbach. He gets great protection, goes into fifth gear before tripping right on into the end zone for the touchdown. Arapahoe wins it 31-12. The cross-country state championships begin in just about minutes down in Colorado Springs. Last year, Lions swept the medal stand. Head coach Mark Roberts has a plan to help them do it again this year. A picturesque town with sweeping mountain views. It's hard to imagine a better place to train for a run.
We definitely feel a sense of responsibility in this community.
A responsibility for cross-country greatness.
I mean, we talk about being small and mighty in the community of Lyons.
The small and mighty community of Lyons swept the 2A state cross-country championships for the first time in school history last year.
Everything worked perfectly. Everything went well. Isaac had a good race. I had a good race.
And for head coach Mark Roberts, he got to see his 6th of 10 children grab an individual title.
Yeah, you know, you kind of are at a loss for words when that stuff happens. Yeah, you kind of pinch yourself at the end of a day like that, so.
This pride of Lyons is tight, like a family, but Quinn Gregg knows there's a different dynamic with a few of the Cubs.
It's kind of, you can see there's a different dynamic between the actual Roberts children and then the rest of us.
I mean, it's kind of hard because you can't keep anything from him because he knows everything.
So that dynamic, I hear some coaches talk about how they're just their coach at practice and they never talk about it when they go home. And that would not be me.
Roberts has 2 of his children currently on his high school team. Katie is only recently discovering her birthright.
She definitely has a little more fire in her belly this year. That's been good to see.
I used to be less competitive. I used to just want to sit there and read all the time, but I've gotten more competitive.
Katie will be joining Quinn on their quest for a team three-peat. But first, they'll have to follow Coach Roberts' carefully made plan.
We wanted to visualize the different pieces of the state course so that we would sort of have that in mind. So the state course starts out through a long gravel parking lot, about 200 meters, and then it has this downhill, and then it loops back around and it kind of comes on a little gradual uphill before you cross over the stream. To the sort of the bottom of the course to the top of the course, altitude-wise, is about 1,600 meters, almost a mile. And that's really where the race, in my opinion, is won or lost. I mean, it's the theme of life, right? Pace yourself. Pace yourself. How many of us get out too hard in a lot of the things we do in life? So, we've talked a lot about how it carries over into all these other areas as well.
Those views, woof. You can see those Lions at the state cross-country meet. That begins later today. We'll have coverage tonight and tomorrow morning, but we want to see your top plays of the entire week. Send us your best stuff of any sport. It may just end up in the honor roll. Hit us up at sports@9news.com or find us on social media.